Hello student, you are welcome in the Economica IAS, our YouTube channel. As I going to discuss with you the current updates of economics on the basis of previous Economic Survey 2026 because these data will be helpful for you in preliminary as well as mains examinations. Because you are going to go through your study with the textbook and other materials, maybe AI, that is not completing the data which is you are needed. And if I discuss today assessment of domestic macroeconomics fundamentals during 2026, that is Jan 2025 to December 2025. This is the time period where we are going to analyze the domestic macroeconomics fundamentals. As you know, macroeconomic fundamentals means what? Different macroeconomic variables or national level economic data. We are not going to discuss here micro level, but macro level. And first of all, I would like to discuss with you domestic inflation dynamics in our economy during this time period. As I told you, 2026. It was actually broad-based easing in price pressures led by sharp disinflation in the prices during this period. What do you mean by disinflation? Actually, my target is to analyze you the basic concepts with the current data so that you can understand the real economics, which is very necessary for you. If you go through this diagram, you can understand what is inflation, disinflation, and other things which is related to the price level. Suppose I represent price on y-axis and that is the time period on x-axis, time period. That is time period, or you can say income level. Income level. At this OY level of income is not changing, or you can say output is remaining constant, or you can say employment. Actually, in economics theory and practical at all level, when we say income or national income, output or employment, these three things are synonymous to each other. Why? Synonymous to output, synonymous to employment. You should very clear on that. If your economy is moving from say this E point to this one, actually this is known as disinflation. Under this disinflationary conditions, what happened? The level of price decreases with decreasing deflation or disinflation. In case of disinflation, again think sharply, because this represents this deflation, and if the economy moving from above to E point, this is known as disinflation. Disinflation means when the price level decline without compromising the level of income, output and employment. Means inflation will decrease. As you can see, our monetary policy repo rate is not going to change by the government. It is because of more output in our economy and certain other measures that inflation rate during this time period decreased by, on the basis of consumer price index, 1.7%, or primarily by correcting the vegetables purchase price supported by favorable farm conditions, supply side intervention and a strong base effect. Now you have to understand, which is repeated questions in your preliminary, that is strong base effect. What happened? Our government changed consumer price index base year as well as index of industrial production base year. If I code you CPI base year, you have to understand this point here. Consumer price index priorly was 2011, and since May 2026 it has been changed 2022 to 2023. Now our base year change. What is the strong base year effect? Now try to understand that point so that you can understand why the inflation rate declined during the financial year 2026 or 25-26. You can understand with the help of, suppose you are taking the base year 2011 and 12. See, I am taking only one example. Price of potato in this year, say 10 rupees, and say in 2020, 22, 23, price of potato increase say 20 rupees per kg. Now you are estimating this base year or index 100, and now on the basis of this year, if you calculate the index of 200, that is 200. How you calculate? Simply 20 upon 10 into 100, then index will calculate 200. But now government changed the base year from this 2011-12 to 2022-23, means now 20 rupees per kg potato index will be 100. It means the inflation which is arise between this period, say 100% inflation increase, became zero. In this way, this is known as base effect or base year effect. That is automatically decreasing the price level which is arises because of increasing price of potato between 2011-12 to 2022-23. But when you shift your base year index, that is say 100 to again this 100, automatically this price rise became zero. We begin to calculate the price change since the year 2022-23 onward. In this way, this is known as, that is a strong base effect which is decreasing the inflation rate in our economy during financial year 2025-26. Now one point I have discussed, the 2 points under this point I discussed. Number first, what is disinflation? Number second, what is the meaning of base effect, which is very important for understanding you. Now third point, there are different credit rating agencies. These credit rating agencies, as I told you, Standard and Poor's, S&P. Standard and Poor's, because of strong macroeconomic fundamental variables of Indian economy during 2025-26, despite global chain disruption due to war among different countries and due to increasing price of petroleum product due to this war, those are going to distort all over the global economy, growth performance, macroeconomic fundamental variables. But our government, as I priorly discussed with you, Prime Minister of India visit here and there, different kinds of free trade agreements signed, different kinds of management of supply chain in India, and that kinds of exercise begin to manage the Indian economy and performance. All macroeconomic fundamental variables are very strong. That's why Standard Poor's increased the India's credit rating from triple P during this financial year, triple P B minus to triple B minus to triple B. Triple B means this minus credit rating decrease up to zero. It means that is improving India's conditions. Again, further, CARE is global in initiating its coverage of India to assign India's rating to triple B positive. In this way, Standard and Poor improve our credit rating from minus triple B to triple B, and other agencies, CARE is global. CARE, EDGE, global. Global also improve our credit rating to triple B positive. It underlines that India's macroeconomic performance like fiscal deficits, like growth rate, like current account deficit, like foreign exchange reserve position, like our foreign debt, all fundamentals are in our favor. In this way, that improve our credit rating. This is our next point for your explanation. Come on the next point. Because these kinds of concepts always confuse the newcomers students as well as our old students who are not aware about the economic fundamentals. Now, one term we are using, fiscal stimulants. What the meaning of fiscal stimulants? What the meaning of fiscal stimulants? Actually, those fiscal exercise which are going to boost up the growth rate of our economy is simply known as fiscal stimulant. What is the steps taken by the government under this fiscal stimulants? You know, our government increased the capex or capital expenditure. Capital expenditure by crowding in effect in the economy boost up the growth rate. Under the crowding in effect, when government create the different kinds of infrastructure in our economy, as during this current financial year, government targeting 12.2 lakh crore rupees capital expenditure, that generating the profitable conditions in the market. To utilize these profitable conditions or to materialize this or to consume these kinds of profitable conditions, which is arising because of government infrastructure development, capital expenditure, private entrepreneurs or private players come in the market, invest in direct productive activity. That kinds of direct productive activity not only generating additional employment, also increasing additional consumption, additional employment opportunities. In this way, overall additional demand and boost up the growth rate of our economy. Apart from it, what the government do under this second step? Our tax rationalization, or you can say tax rate reduction by the government of India. It may be personal income tax exemptions limit, it may be indirect taxes, say GST, etc. It may be capital gain tax. If all taxes are rationalized or reduced by the government of India, that will definitely increase the disposable income and consumption of the society. This is the macroeconomic fundamentals which I am going to discuss of economic survey previous year or 2025-26, because they will help for you. Similarly, monetary steps or monetary support. What kinds of monetary support? As you know, repo rate, that is cumulative reductions in our repo rate by 125 point basis. If repo rate is reducing, what happened in the economy? That automatically boost up the investment because more entrepreneur. If the rate of interest in the market is low, profit possibility is more. Private entrepreneur as well as government organization will borrow more fund for the investment purposes. Simultaneously, our consumers also borrow the more fund for the consumable durable goods that will enhance the aggregate demand. That kinds of motivation given by our repo rate policy of the government of India, which is linked to other monetary measures like bank rate, marginal standing facility, say these kinds of or reverse repo rate, all are linked to this one. In this way, this repo rate cut increase the liquidity in the market 2.5 lakh crore. This RBI repo rate cut increase the liquidity 2.0 lakh crore rupees in the market during this financial year. Apart from it, open market operation. You know, under the monetary policy, open market operation, you know what is the meaning of this open market operation? First you understand, then you can easily understand how this is going to boost up the growth rate or favorable all macroeconomic fundamentals in our economy. Think on this diagram. Easily you can understand. Suppose this is the money demand. Say this is the money supply. determined by the RBI. Say this is the rate of interest in the market. Rate of interest. If RBI by purchasing the securities, a variety of securities from the commercial bank, means commercial bank will sell out share, bond, debentures of the company, treasury bills of the government of India to the RBI, and RBI by purchasing the security giving the money to the commercial bank. Means money supply in the commercial bank will increase. Increasing money supply in the commercial bank reduce the market rate of interest from OR to COR dash. This reduction in interest rate work on both. One side it increase the investment, other side increase the consumption, or you can say aggregate demand will increase, which interact with aggregate supply, increase the output, increase the employment, increase the national income. That kinds of phenomena prevalent, and because of this, then the RBI by purchasing the securities from the commercial bank access liquidity increase in the market by 6.95 lakh crore rupees. Lakh crore rupees. Open market operation policy of RBI during the financial year 2026 increase the liquidity in the banking or overall market 6.95 lakh crore rupees. Apart from it, our government swept $25 billion foreign exchange reserve, that also increasing the money supply in the market. Now, next very important macroeconomic fundamental which I would like to share and discuss with you, that is non-performing assets of our commercial bank, NPA. What is the meaning of NPA? Non-performing assets. Commercial bank non-performing assets means bad loan which is not recovered by the commercial bank with principal and interest rate that are known as non-performing assets of commercial bank. Prior, it reached up to 10% of total credit given by our commercial bank. Now it reduced to very low level, 2.2%. 2.2%. What does it mean? It shows that our banking financial health condition is very well, that is multi-decades lowest at 2.2 non-performing assets. So the profitability of bank, the bad loan of the bank consistently decline because of the government of India exercise. Now you can understand this point. Again, next fundamental macroeconomic variable, that is current account. Current account, in your balance of payment there are the two accounts in case of India, but in case of developed country they are maintain only two account. In case of developing country they maintain the two account, current and capital account, and developed country current, capital and government account, because there the government is separately working. This is known as balance of payment. In balance of payment there are the two parts, that is say receipts and liabilities. This is our liability, and this is say our receipts, or you can say this is export or this is import. In our current account there are the three items of export and import, that is commodity or goods, services and transfer payment. Same things are there, 1, 2 and 3. This is your export, this is your import. If you see during this financial year current account export in term of US dollar, that is if I say trade account, goods and services, that is also known as trade account. trade account. This is visible item of trade account. This is invisible items of trade account. That increased up to recorded $825.3 billion. Our export of goods and services during the financial year 2025-26 reached up to 825.3 billion, which is very appreciable because our increasing export decreased all over the current account deficit, which was lowest at 0.8% of GDP during 2025-26. This is also a strong macroeconomic fundamental variable for understanding, and because of this positive outcome, our foreign exchange reserve, that is also foreign exchange means what? Which we earn by the exports of goods, services, transfer payment, and by the investment other countries in our domestic territory. Our foreign exchange reserve increased up to cover of 11-month import in January 16, 2026. That was approximately 94% of our total foreign debt. You know, this forex, sometimes they ask in preliminary, what are the components of forex? That is foreign currency, SDR, and gold. There are the three major components of foreign exchange reserve, and it reached up to on 16 Jan 2026 11-month import capacity. Import $640 billion. Round about this was the foreign exchange reserve position of Indian economy. I have discussed today these kinds of points, and I lastly discussed with you that kinds of foreign exchange reserve position, current account position, balance of payment position, because of trade strategy agreement signed by the Government of India with UK, Oman, New Zealand, European Union, and US economy. Different sign agreement done by the government during this period, they are boosting that kinds of performance of our economy. I will further proceed this lecture tomorrow. If you are interested, then subscribe and like these kinds of videos, which is very helpful, because I going to discuss day-to-day current economic aspects with theoretical aspect, so that every candidate who doesn't know what is economics can also understand. I am also running my online, offline batches on GS economics as well as economics optional. If you are interested, you can participate by taking admission in our coaching institute, which is in Mukherjee Nagar near this Nehru Yard, Vardhaman Central Mall, S70. Thank you, students.